NBC host Megyn Kelly is going to be interviewing Alex Jones, and a lot of people are upset about it. They'd released the trailer for this interview. Let's take a look right now.
They call you the most paranoid man in America. Is that true?
Absolutely not. A paranoid person will be hiding out in their house, not venturing out in public. I go out there on the street and battle Black Lives Matter, the communists at point blank range.
We talked controversies and conspiracies.
9/11.
Now, 9/11 was an inside job, but when I say inside job, it means criminal elements in our government working with Saudi Arabia and others wanted to frame Iraq for it. Just a fact.
Sandy Hook.
Well, Sandy Hook's complex because I've had debates where we've devil's advocates said the whole story's true, and then I've had debates where I've said that none of it's true.
When you say parents faked their children's death, people get very angry.
Yeah, well, I know, but they don't get angry about the 500,000 dead Iraqis from the sanctions, or they don't get angry about all the illegals.
That's a dodge.
No, it's not a dodge. The media never covers all the evil wars it's promoted, all the big things.
That doesn't excuse what you did and said about Newtown. You know it.
Here's the difference. I looked at all the angles of Newtown, and I made my statements long before the media even picked up on it. We didn't get any of the really important stuff.
What do you mean? We talked about all the important stuff.
Well, here's the big one they always make fun of me. You probably want to throw this in there. 30 years ago, they began creating animal-human hybrids. Isn't that the big story Megyn Kelly should be doing?
All right, so Kelly, for her part, says that she's interviewing him because she wants to, quote, shine a light on an increasingly important media figure. NBC is defending this program that it hasn't aired yet. It's just a trailer, but a lot of people are talking about it. Now, I think Vox.com had an interesting take, so I'm gonna tell you a little bit about what they're saying, and then I wanna get your response, Michelle. So they say, quote, reporting on Jones makes sense. He has indeed gained prominence since the last election, but a serious sit-down interview was a poor choice of format for covering him. It's extremely difficult to have a reasonable exchange with a person who regularly rants and spews nonsense, as Jones does. It's like running a straight one-on-one with a climate change denialist or someone who refuses to accept the Holocaust happened. Maybe you're unfamiliar with who Alex Jones is. He's the host of InfoWars. What does he talk about? What are some of the things that make people upset? Well, he does spread dangerous misinformation, like Jones alleges that 9/11 was an inside job, that the Sandy Hook massacre was designed to get Americans to side with gun control, and that there's a secret fungus epidemic spreading across the country, slowly killing Americans. Also, there's something about the water makes you gay, in which case, thank God, I love it.
That one's true.
That is true. I am gay because of that. What's important for you guys to know is that the President of the United States is a big fan of Alex Jones and InfoWars and a lot of the falsehoods that he has perpetuated. For example, that Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama started ISIS and that the election was rigged. Sandy Hook truthers, the people who harassed the parents of the victims from Sandy Hook, are spurred on by Jones. He also started Pizzagate, or he at least perpetuated the Pizzagate scandal, which was that there was a secret pedophile ring being run out of a pizza place in Washington, D.C., and Hillary Clinton was somehow involved, and then a guy went in there with a gun. It's dangerous stuff. Now, what Vox says for their part is that it's okay to interview him, but interviewing him in a one-on-one is not the way to do it. Vox says, quote, instead of airing the sit-down, NBC could run an annotated interview where it could use the exchange to explain to viewers what Jones gets wrong about 9/11, Sandy Hook, the HPV vaccine, etc. The network also could use the opportunity to give its viewers context on how a figure like Jones has gained such a huge following and what it means that Jones can count the president among his fans. For now, the teaser suggests that Jones will be shown sitting across from the anchor as heads of state, important authors, and serious scientists have in NBC interviews before him. I think that's an interesting distinction that they're making, sort of what you say just by the interview format. I think a big part of why I don't think this interview is gonna go over well also is because Megyn Kelly is the one hosting it, and I am not fully on board the Megyn Kelly train. I don't know when we decided that she was a beacon for journalistic integrity. I don't think she's bad. I just don't.
Recently.
I think it was very recently. I think it was during a debate that she did well. I don't necessarily know that, at least from that trailer, and I'll watch the full interview and give my assessment. I don't know if she's gonna hold his feet to the fire, because I think she sort of views him as comical and doesn't take him seriously, and that's exactly what we did with Donald Trump as well.
Well, I think and in the teaser anyway, it's very like, I'm gonna say one word and then hear his crazy answer. So she was like, Sandy Hook, and he's like, bah. It's like 9/11,
Which is actually, that is exactly what you do when you give someone a platform, where you sort of give them a prompt and then you let them go.
They go off on it. I mean, there are a few things to break down just in that teaser. First of all, I love that he's like, if I were paranoid, I would stay inside all day. Would a paranoid person do this? And it's like, well, yes. I also think, she's been an advocate for gun control, I think, in terms of I think she's been a very important figure in the Sandy Hook story in general. She was supposed to host the Promise Champions Gala, which is an annual event for the Sandy Hook Promise Foundation, which is a nonprofit gun violence prevention group founded by the family members of some of the victims of Sandy Hook. And now that this interview is happening, they've said that she's not hosting anymore, because of course. But I think you can't give someone that crazy. He already has a platform. He has his own platform. And I think no one's really giving him credibility in terms of, like, the president likes him, so we believe what he's saying. I think those people probably already believed him. You're not bringing new people on board. And to put him on a major news network and say, this is someone we should listen to and someone we should have.
This is a credible source.
Yeah, this is someone
really
that
dangerous.
Meant enough for us to bring on here, even though he's really instigated a lot of violence and clearly has no idea what he's talking about and probably has a heart condition. He's very red just all the time.
I don't know. I want to see how the full interview goes, but already we're seeing online that just the announcement and the trailer is getting so much backlash, and I can't say that I disagree with that because
people are going to watch it though.
I know, and that's the thing too, is that Megyn Kelly wants this first run of her show. She's a new anchor on NBC. Because she was at Fox News. You guys might recall that she was at Fox News. She sort of knocked this one debate out of the park where we were like, whoa, Megyn Kelly's great, and then we just got this inflated sense of who she was. And I don't think that she's awful, but the fact that she's like, this is the Walter Cronkite of our generation doesn't really jive for me. I think she needs to get the views.
She was her body language in that interview. At one point, she was literally like this while he was talking to her. She's trying to get
she might have been
away
cold.
From him. Yeah, well, she is cold.
I just think that it breaks my heart. The Sandy Hook truther movement, I think, is awful, and I can say that I have done my due diligence. I've done my research on that because you know how I feel about conspiracy theories and the darker sides of history. That's something I'm very passionate and interested in, and so I've gone down those rabbit holes before, and I find it, with everything that I've researched, I find it incredibly disrespectful to the families that lost their kids, and the fact that there is a major guy in the media that is perpetuating all these lies and that is spurring on these people to harass these families who lost their babies is awful. And now to give him this platform, and again, just give him a prompt and then let him go on NBC gives him a level of credibility that I don't think he deserves. And again, yes, I was turned gay by the water, and maybe I'm a little defensive because of that.
But don't you think the real story here is that the government has been creating animal-human hybrids, Grace? Because that should be the story that Megyn Kelly is covering.
I agree. I actually do agree with that. Guys, we want to hear from you in the comment section below. What do you think about the animal-human hybrids? I actually don't know anything about that, but apparently it's something he cares a lot about. Are you going to be tuning into the interview? What do you think about Alex Jones? Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. I don't know if we can cut that out, Sophie, but I love you, Sophie. You guys met Sophie a little while in the past video. I love giving her a hard time, so I'm gonna make this outro real spicy for the editors. And we'll see you next time on Pop Sugar.